I absolutely hate this character in the Mighty Nein. So stay tuned as I'm going to touch upon that a little bit later. But welcome to the Mostly Ridiculous D&D podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about the Mighty Nein animated series, episode 7. So let's talk about that. Oh boy, where do I start? This episode is ridiculous. We start off the episode with an execution, and I cannot believe the things that happen in this episode, mostly on the not the group side. But oh my god, I like, but I also hate this episode. I don't hate it for like, oh, this episode's bad, but oh my god, I hate this episode. So yeah, that's kind of my overall opinion of the episode. Is just so ridiculous. There's so many things I have complaints about. So this is going to be more or less a complaint episode of everything that's wrong. And yeah, so let's get into this complaint episode. We have the opening scene starting off with the execution of Tasha. And if you don't remember who that is, she is one of the people that from the Cobalt Soul that was involved in arresting or detaining Trent Ikithon for his war crimes. And then at the last episode, he convinced the retarded King Dwindle to let him go and kill a whole bunch of people to prove that he can win this war for him. And yes, I said the R word. Look, I'm not afraid to say that word for people who aren't actually. But anyways, I just think this fucking guy's pissing me off. I know it's made. You're supposed to hate this guy, but damn. But this is not the guy I was talking about at the beginning. I hate this other character more than Trent Ikithon in this episode. And it is absolutely ridiculous. He is one of the most loved characters. And right now, for me, he is the most hated. I hate him more than Trent Ikithon. And if I remember, I'll get back to that later. Why? Because I'll just say right now, because you're supposed to hate Trent. Okay? You're supposed to hate Trent. Trent is supposed to do bad, evil shit. This guy is not supposed to really, he's not supposed to really be a bad person, maybe misunderstood, maybe whatever, but it is just what the one thing he did made me hate him more than Trent. And right now, I think he might be my most hated character just because of the moral aspect of it. I just don't like him anymore. That is a little hint of who it might be, but I'll get onto that later. Tasha is on her knees and not in the fun way, with her head on a chopping block, essentially, that where she is charged to death for treason. Okay, let's check. Let's get back to that. Like, touch up on that real quick. Treason for what? She charged him for something he did do. That's not treason. It's not treason against the kingdom. It's not treason against anyone, actually. And Dwindle himself was the one who also ordered the arrest. So why the fuck execute her here? This makes no sense. This makes no sense for her execution. But Trent, being the piece of shit he is, of course, he's the one who suggested this little demonstration to the public. The king's just dumb. The king's so fucking dumb. He just let this guy suggest this execution, essentially letting him run free. But instead, I don't understand the stupidity of the king. He is not this dumb and this whole episode basically just showed or revealed, even though in the game it wasn't, in the show here, it revealed that the Dwindalian Empire is the evil bastards. And I just can't believe they took that route story-wise with the narrative that they've chosen with this series. And I am rooting more for the Kryn dynasty because honestly, fuck the king. Obviously, fuck Trent, but also fuck literally anyone who's working with the empire. I don't know what direction this is going to take because one, we still haven't seen what's his name from campaign 3. He was in campaign 2. The big dude, the one who actually took the beacon, Ludinus. That's the guy. We have not seen him yet. And yet Trent is the one in this season that's doing all this. So it doesn't make any sense here, the direction that they've gone through with that. And then they had him as the center point for this whole thing. I hope at the end of the season they kill him, because there's really no point for him later. Like, there really isn't. But I hope at the end of this season he's dead. If not, sometime beginning of the next season. Either way. Then yeah, Lady Tasha gets executed. She gets the axe to the neck, and it wasn't even like a clean cut, instant death kind of thing. It was a choppy death, cut the neck halfway down, couldn't get a clean one, and then went in for a second swing. And oh my god, that was kind of disgusting. That very, very grotesque, how they animated that. That's cool as a visual. Fine. It was just I was upset that they did it to the person they did it to instead of doing it to Trent, because he deserves it. This whole spin, the manipulation, quote unquote, by him is just everything he does just pisses me off. And this is just the opening scene of her execution. Yeah, this whole thing made me side with the queen, the Bright Queen, the whole Kryn dynasty and everything. And just made me hate the Empire altogether. I think now if you have anytime anyone is like any place is called a kingdom or empire, I just automatically assume it's an evil place, because I just cannot see. This is just crazy. The level or the direction that episode 5 and 6. No, was it? We're on episode 7. 6 and 7 took. So I was just blown away by the stupidity overall of this whole thing. The whole 180 turn essentially that happened between this and last episode. But anyways, yeah. So execution happens, ends with some cleanup guy, I guess, picking up the Tasha's head like it's an ornament or something like that. Very disrespectful and rude and gross, and I'm just kind of upset with that. And then we cut to the opening credits, and then we cut to the team. Our team has finished their their dungeon crawl and got the compass, so they delivered it to the gentleman. And it's not very eventful. It was just kind of like they brought it. He said, "Hey, Trent Ikithon told this beacon or relic thing. I would like you to steal it from me." And now they're all debating on doing it, or they're just kind of like not interested, really, except for Caleb and Nott. And so this is kind of where the team splits. They've done their job. They delivered the package, and they're kind of going their own way. Ford helps Jester go to her this fancy place that's supposed to go to, which I'll cover in a second. Yeah, Ford takes Jester to the Pillow Trough. I think that's where it was. And he kind of just drops her off there. Something I wanted to note here, just a side note here, Jester's tail is a little longer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like this thin, like the typical thin and not that long of a tail, just kind of like aesthetic. But it's a full-on, looks like a dragon's tail almost. That's how thick and long the tail is. So that's just something I noticed, and I wanted to point out before I forgot. It's not important. It's just something I noticed. After everybody splits, Caleb and Nott are in. I guess they've rented a room, and then Caleb re-summons Frumpkin, which doesn't disappear this time. That's cool. And he kind of brings up old past trauma to the cat after Nott has left to get some components or materials. So yeah, just a little bit of Caleb's, a little insight into Caleb's feelings, opinions about certain things, and just overall attitude right now is a nice little touch. He admits to his parents burning his parents alive under the manipulation of Trent. Yep. I mean, that did happen. And then he proceeds to leave, or at least he's thinking he leaves Nott there because he doesn't want Nott involved with going after Trent. So he just leaves the room there and pursues, or at least tries to pursue, going after Trent. Just say it right now. He never gets anywhere near Trent, but he has his own little thing, which this whole episode is about. This whole episode is just about all the members just having their own little extrasensual, what is it called? Crisis of their own, like, selves and they have their own little inner just their own little fights, like inner fights with what they want, and then cumulates to like resolving by the end of them joining back up together again. So yeah, and then we're gonna cut to Essek. Yeah, Essek is confronted by his friend from the last episode, who rightfully so punches him in the face, and then Carl confronts him for the treason, and then he gives him until the end of the day to tell the Bright Queen, or he will, and he disappears. And then the scene ends with Essek's mother having overheard that. Then we cut to Ford and Jester again. They arrive at the Pilotrove. Ford's like, "This is where I'm going to leave you. I have to do my own thing, and I do not belong in this place. You do," and then kind of leaves her there. And it's just kind of quick and back and forth of some of these scenes, and then they split for now, at least. Then we come back to Nott, comes back to the room and finds Caleb gone. Then, yeah, like I said, these scenes just cut very quickly. They're like just getting to the point, essentially. So Nott finds Caleb missing, gets upset, throws her bottle of liquor at the mirror, and has a little of her own like existential crisis of who she is and trying to deal with it, because for her, she felt better or less, well, let's say less shitty when she was with the group than when she was by herself. So, yeah, she goes a little crazy. And then it was a really sad moment for that, because right after she realizes she spilled all the alcohol, and then she's like goes down to drink it off the floor. That's kind of as sad as it gets. That was the saddest moment in the episode for me. I didn't find anything else in this. Well, execution at the start wasn't sad. It was anger that I was feeling. I'm still like, it's just anger from that whole thing. But this one was all just really, really sad to watch not go through. Then we cut to Molly. Molly, I guess they didn't know what to do with Molly in this instance, because for this case or this episode, they had him following, and that leads to some kind of abandoned building, or some kind of abandoned building that when she steps into, he also breaks into not that long in, like, after, and then all of a sudden she's gone. So he's just kind of exploring this building and no one's anywhere around. And that's kind of it. And he uses his blood to activate a special ability of his, I guess, to see kind of what happened, I guess. I'm not sure what that ability is. If anybody knows what power ability thing he's using there or spell, let me know, because I don't really know what that is. But he does that, and he's kind of like, he's not sure what's happening here. Then we cut to Ford. Ford is at this point gone to a temple to ask for some advice. I guess he's seeking, because he's not sure about. We know it's Okutoa, but the voice he's hearing, he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know who it is. He doesn't know anything about it. So he went to this temple to ask about gods in general. So he talks to this priest, asks if gods talk to people, to which the priest replies, "It's rare, but it does happen." And then he asks how, and the priest lists a number of ways, to which water being one of them kind of triggers Ford's thinking, I guess. And he's like, "Oh, okay, thanks," and then leaves, basically. And so I guess he figured out what to do in that instant, and then he leaves. This priest I think this was not a church. This was the temple of the sun god, I believe. And yes, this is the same temple that Jester and Nott, they have done their little adventure in. They do that in this episode too. So I think we'll get on to that later, but that one is quite funny. And well, I'll get to that in a little bit, but I don't want to jump the gun here. So anyways, we cut back to Caleb. Caleb goes to the invulnerable vagrant. And at first, I'm like, okay, this one I don't know if I remember the name, so I'm like, okay, what is it? And I forgot that this is Pumat Souls, the name of Pumat Souls store. So I thought that slipped went over my head at first, and then yeah, Pumat Soul just appears. I'm like, oh my god, Pumat Soul, and that was also really good. All the Pumat Souls just kind of like appear out of nowhere. It's a hi, I can't do that, voice, but Matt did an amazing job. I was glad that Matt did the voice instead of somebody else because I don't think anybody else could do that voice, and I think that's probably why because they don't they kept Matt's voice as that because Pumat Soul's voice is just iconic. So you can't really mess with that. But yeah, a few Easter eggs I want to point out in the Invulnerable Vagrant store before running into Pumat. Yeah, I noticed a couple things in there, and one of them is very very important. So first, we gotta look at some jar of eyeballs, some vials of liquid, some random weapons, a bird in a cage, and just some, in my opinion, some overpriced items. Overall, in general, I thought that Pumat's store, he's nice, but feel like he was always an expensive store. I feel like you go to shop there, and I just feel like it's a little more expensive than maybe other places. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the other way around, but I just feel like everything he sells there is just way too expensive, even for the items that they are. But yeah, I just that was just my impression, even in the campaign. I was like, "Oh, I feel like it's just too expensive." Like, let me know if you think the same thing. Like, do you think he's expensive, or is he fair, or is he actually cheap or cheaper than other places? But the one thing I noticed in there, and I hope you noticed too, was a broken sword hanging on the wall with a slight glow on it. So that is Ford's Star Razor sword. In the later episodes, I guess. I guess next season maybe. I think for my recollection, I don't remember if Pumat originally had the broken sword in his mantle, like in his store for sale, or if he found it in a dungeon that they were where he found the what's it called? The eyeball as well. Not in the animated series, but in the campaign, because those are two different places that and I think he found the sword, broken sword from a dungeon. I don't think Pumatal, but let me do a quick search on that. Let me see. Okay, I can't find where the sword was originally found. At least the hilt and the blade on and hilt part, the first part, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was Pumatsol's store, or maybe it was the dungeon. I'm not sure, but if you know, let me know as well. I'll probably do a little more research into it later, and then just for my knowing and whatnot. But because I am curious now, but yeah, so that was a nice little Easter egg to find Ford's sword, which is really cool because this is the sword he gets later when he becomes a paladin, when he kind of leaves Ukatoa essentially, and then becomes a Wild Mother follower. And that honestly, that episode is really really interesting as well. But we are not there yet, and I thought that was just an interesting note for anyone who hasn't seen the campaign and maybe didn't notice the sword, or maybe you did notice the sword but didn't know of its significance. Well, now you know. But yeah, so we meet the Pumat souls, and Caleb asks for some stuff, and then he also does a little 5 finger discount of a scroll like thing, and I guess he rolled a nat 20 on that because they didn't notice anything with 4 of them there. And then we cut back to Essek's mother. Actually, this is the first time we have a scene where it's just his mother without Essek around. And this time she's meeting with the Bright Queen, that is the Bright Queen, right? The horns and everything. I think she's more in her more form, casual like appearance look, I guess. But I don't know what to make of this because Essek's mother had a meeting with her, who confessed her illness to the queen, and then it was just like a nice regular talk that they had, conversation about it, and that there wasn't like some kind of formal kind of meeting of setting up the execution. It was just like a long time friends having a nice little like tea while talking about their past, and then casually it was weird how casual the okay, I'll set up the your execution tomorrow, like it was like nothing. It was kind of weird to hear it that way. And his mother was just really, really okay with it and didn't have any issues. And yeah, and then when the Bright Queen leaves, her nose starts bleeding. And that raises some question because this, like, none of this is in campaign two, at least that we see. This is probably something in the background that Matt maybe was thinking, but none of us ever see this stuff. Also, and like I said, I believe we never even see or hear of Essek's mother. So that's another thing. But the Bright Queen having been friends with his mother and then setting up this execution, but then also as she's walking away from the meeting there with her, her nose starts bleeding. And that also is concerning. Does that mean she also has this sickness or is getting it? Like, what does this mean? That was very surprising because she is in campaign 3 and she doesn't look any worse for wear. If that, like, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, they can't like just kill her off, right? How long does this disease last before you like have to get executed? I guess who's gonna replace her? Because like none of this is happening in or happened in the campaigns, even 3 or mentioned that the queen is gonna be replaced. But I don't know. That was just something for me that I was like, I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that choice of giving her the disease as well. But that's just my opinion. Then we cut to Jester. She's in a room talking to the traveler, or at least she's trying to talk to the traveler. And throughout, since like she met with the group, anytime she talked to a traveler, they would just say she's like they wouldn't believe her. They think she's like crazy or something. And so I guess it's taken a toll on her because she's trying to get the traveler to appear to her again, but and she gives like a countdown to like appear now in like 5 seconds or something, and then he doesn't, and then she goes like a little crazy, loses her mind a little bit, and then destroys everything in the room. And then she's like, "I'm gonna like make you appear" or something like that, and then she just like kind of leaves the room there, and then yeah, that was that. Well, my thing of this is she's known him since she was like a child, right? And so why would she question whether he exists now? Like she should already know, right? So she should be sure that that he's real instead of just kind of taking people's words and believing that maybe she's wrong. Because she should know better than anyone if he's real or not. So I don't understand why she's upset here. Like why just because he didn't show up, that doesn't mean well, he could be busy. That doesn't he didn't show up, that doesn't mean really anything, you know. But it is what it is. I guess they had to give her something to be uh, have a existential crisis as well, because all of them have this kind of personal crisis happening in this episode. So everyone has to deal with their own thing. Like so, it's like whatever. Like Bo has a meeting with her mentor who says to stay low and then kind of hide because she's been like not just Bo, but her mentor has been kind of made, and so they have to go into hiding, and it's just like okay, I guess that's that. So Bo has to deal with that kind of stuff. And to which I think we'll get to the Bo stuff a little later, but we're gonna cut back to Molly, and Molly's still investigating Kree's secret or secret hideout because he's hiding in this wall in the hole, hole in the wall, hole in the hole. Yeah, so he's hiding in this hole in the wall, and nice stealth because none of them find it, and I guess you get a little glimpse of the of all the members of what are they called? The Tomb Takers. And you see Kree, you see the big dude, I forget his name, and then you see the one that Nott calls the little shit. I forget what it's called. I forget his name. It's probably something annoying. But yeah, you find them walk by coming out of this stairs into the floor. And then he proceeds to go down there, and then he finds this door with these carvings or patterns on it that draws blood into it, to which he cuts some blood, like cuts himself a little more to get blood into it, and then he sees a picture of himself on it. And then that's kind of where it cuts out, because it's just him kind of finding this, and then it doesn't tell us or show us anything that happens after that. So I'm not sure what happened here, but that's Molly's thing, I guess. I'm still not sure what the significance of this is, because this doesn't really serve any purpose to him or us right now. So I'm just confused by this whole thing, but I guess they had to give him something as well, like Jester, for the whole having to be in this some kind of crisis that will drive everyone back together again. Well, then we cut back to Essek. Oh my God, so many Essek scenes in this episode. Essek, he goes to his mom's execution, and his mom picks him to be his executioner, essentially. She picks the one to be the one to do the ritual to release her soul. Because of what's going to happen next, with Essek next, honestly, I'm glad she did this. She made him be the one to kill her, because honestly, Essek pissed me off this episode. You know what? This is the character I like really hate right now. Essek is probably the worst character in the series right now, even worse than Trent, because Trent is just a pure evil motherfucker, but Essek, he's supposed to be a good person, but he's doing all this bad shit, and then he even does something even worse. And so I'm glad that this is really maybe morbid to say, but I'm glad he's the one who was picked to kill his mother. Because you know what? Fuck you, Essek. And I think this is, to me, this is not the same Essek as the campaign. I think this is, between the campaign and the animated series, this is a completely different Essek, because I think they've chosen to take the series in a different route a little bit, because lately it's been feeling more like a series of itself with these characters, with a little sprinkle of actual campaign 2 in it. So instead of it being a campaign 2 retelling with a little bit of sprinkle of like extra stuff added to it. So it's not, yeah, which is what I thought they were going to do, but it's a completely different story with a slight here and there nods and scenes and inclusions to of the campaign 2 gameplay. At least that's what it's feeling like for me right now. And Essek, since first in the first time we meet him in the campaign, I liked him, but in here, I do not. I do not like this character at all. And I thought, like, last last episode, like, I changed my mind to liking him, because I didn't like him since episode 1, really. But last episode, I thought, oh, this is going to change. Like, he's going to change my mind, because I'm going to like him now. He's going to help and try to do better. And, like, he's going to try to do that comeback for himself, like, try to make things, like, fix things. But instead, he makes things worse, at least in my eyes, and I hate what he does. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about or alluding to, but I'll get to that later, because I'm going into order as I have the notes written here. Man. Anyways, his mother, before he plunges the dagger into her chest, whispers to him to return the beacon, because yes, she overheard him talking to the friend of his about the beacon. And then he stabs her in the chest, and she dies, and her soul disperses into the air to nothing. You know, as one soul does, I guess. Yeah. Then we cut back to Bo, and Bo is at a bar. She's a little bit upset here. She's not like with her mentor. I keep forgetting the mentor's name. I want to say Byron, but I don't think that's right. And maybe it's right, but I'm wrong. She's down here. Like, she's emotionally down, and she's kind of upset. And then all of a sudden, what I thought was going to happen was this chick, well, this really buff barbarian looking chick, kind of walks up and takes her mead, beer, ale, whatever she's drinking, and drinks it herself. So I thought this was going to be a fight, that she was going to, like, let her anger out and stuff like that. But no, it was just a pickup thing. And Bo picks up this chick, and they make out in the back alley. And gets rejected very quickly because she stinks. The other lady smells her armpit and is immediately turned off and says, maybe next time. And then she got upset and then she kicks this crate or something. And I forget what she says, but it was like at the moment, it was funny the way she reacted to her rejection. And then that's just where the scene ends. I thought that was just really, really funny little comedic scene there. I guess you add some comedy here and there, and that it was kind of funny. It fit there. I just want to quickly point out to something from the previous scene is the sickness that Essek's mom has is not a sickness that is ever, at least that I know of. I don't think is ever mentioned in campaign 2. Again, it's been 5 or more years since watching campaign 2. So I will miss a bunch of things. So if the sickness was in the game, let me know because I forgot. And I don't think it is in there because I don't remember ever having this mentioned. So I hope that and it just might be something to drive a plot forward for Essek in the animated series. So that might be something that's just added for the the show. Anyways, after the bow scene, we go to back to Nott. Nott is in like a public spot causing a scene, and she's like embracing her goblin side, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a goblin monster. I'll eat your what is it, kids and balls and stuff." I'm not even sure. I'm not, probably wrong on that, but yeah, she says all that and stuff or some stuff and Jester runs, happens to come by, and then she disperses the scene, and and Jester and Nott have a little conversation. To which then they decide to do the first of many, I assume, of their Chaos Crew shenanigans. The first one being which is the destruction of the Sun God's temple. Well, I say destruction, but it really is like desecration. So they go to the Sun Temple that the Ford was in earlier and pretend that Nott is a possessed child, to which they run away. And I was confused why they ran away because it's a possessed child. At least that's what you are presuming. So why are you running away? You're a priest. You should be able to be like, all right, let's take this child and see what we can do. Let's exorcise this demon. But no, is not the way it just didn't. I don't understand why they all run away and then Nott and Jester just close the door and lock it behind them, and then they start spray painting and painting stuff. To which, where the hell did they get all this paint? That's so much paint. Like, where did they just get it? How does she just have that much paint on her all of a sudden? But um, but other than the priest and a couple other people that run out of the building, and no, I did not miss it in case you are screaming at me. How did you miss that? No, one of the people that was with the priest in the temple was Breas. Okay. Breas, Sam's backup character in campaign 3, whose background is this scene or backstory is this scene with that we just saw. So it's funny that they actually included him in there. I almost didn't recognize him. I'm like, those horns, the guy looks a little more human like almost. But those horns and yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's definitely Breas. That is for sure Breas. And I thought it was funny. I thought I liked that little Easter egg of the character. It was similar how in campaign on animated series, the Vox Machina hanging tree, the people in there, that was also, yes, it was in campaign 1, but also the one of the characters was also Marisha's character in campaign 3. What's her name? Laudna. So it's not the same thing here because you could technically miss this because this is a scene that could have just not happened. Like they could have just not included him in here because it wasn't even anyone or in like anything that was really in campaign 2. It was just an inclusion in campaign 3 that was brought in, and then they added this to the animated series as a nod to and be like, yeah, hey, look, here's Breas before he became a follower of the devil. But yeah, and so they cause all this scene, and then they quickly run away, leaving the temple on fire. Yep, that's it. And then we cut to Ford. Ford goes to a bath, and he submerges himself with the glowing eye orb, to which he gets a vision from Ukatoa. And then at first it's like a vision of him with his captain, but the captain, he quickly finds out, is not him, or the real him, which, like, Ukatoa kind of shows himself, but is just mostly eyes. I really like the visual effects from this. This was really cool. The animators, I think, had a lot of fun with this one, and the eyes and everything was really cool. And so, like, Ukatoa tells him to consume the orb, and Ford, I don't know why he's a little slow here, but, like, consume. Like, in the campaign, Ford just ate the orb, swallowing it whole, essentially. While here, he just didn't know what he meant, and then Ukatoa in the vision is just like pushing the orb into his gut, essentially, through his, like, ribs or bones and stuff, like through it, like, yeah, trying to penetrate his flesh with the orb. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as what's it called, as much of a visual as you're gonna get of, like, telling you what he means by consume, right? And then he gets pulled out by Bo, who is also there to get a bath because, yeah, she got told she was stinky by her last pickup. So she came to clean herself up, and she, I guess, found Ford there and pulled him out of the water because she thought he was drowning. And then they kind of just sat there for a while talking. It was interesting because she pulled him out, but they were both naked, so that was funny that they in the show, the first two characters to see each other naked are Bo and Ford. So I thought that's just me. That's just something I've noticed. And then, yeah, then we cut back to Molly. Molly's out of the building. I don't know what he witnessed, but he was very traumatized by something that he noticed. And I don't know what that is because we don't see it. I think I might have an idea. It might be the what's it called? The Eyes of Nine thing. Maybe he had a vision of the city, of the living city. But again, that's only speculation because I don't know if that's maybe what he saw, or if he saw something else, or again, we have no idea what he saw. So this is a mystery for season two. And we something I want to touch back up on is have a note here that the priest, when he walked back into the temple, finding not Jester and Nott, uh, desecrating the whole place. His reaction with "what the fuck" is just funny. I don't know why. If you've seen it, go back to that. If you missed it, and just look at his reaction. Just the way he says "what the fuck" and to the whole thing. I don't know why that made me laugh so much. I think I laughed for a good 2 minutes on that. I'm not sure why. That's not even a funny phrase. But for the way he says it, I think the tone is just it's just so funny. Oh my god. Anyways, so we cut back to Estrid and Eadwolf searching for Bren or Caleb here, and so she finds Caleb, or she comes up to a chase when she casts some kind of spell to locate him, and then maybe it was locate person that she cast there. But either way, she chases him. Caleb runs into this circle trap that they, I guess, planned. Would they know he would be coming that way? It doesn't make any sense because Eadwolf was just kind of standing there waiting for him to get trapped. So it doesn't make sense that he just ended up showing up there where they set up this trap to bind him. And that's my a little gripe with that whole scene because doesn't make sense. It would have been better if they kind of just caught him. I don't know, shoot a spell, catch him, and cast some kind of vine spell, ensnare him. I don't know, but not fucking. He got caught in a trap that's set already that he didn't see coming, and then all of a sudden he was just there. I'm like, okay, it could have been done better. That's something I just didn't like there. And then They let him go because they owe him one or something, and then threaten if they see him again, they'll kill him. Okay, all right. That scene was very uneventful, honestly. I think, again, because everyone's going through some kind of existential crisis, this had to have happened. It wasn't great. Like, the scene was kind of pointless. Literally nothing happened. They caught him, then just said, hey, you're stupid. Leave. Bye. Okay, and that was it. That was pretty much the whole interaction with that. And he got like, I don't know if he got sad, upset, or what was it, but he came back and to the room that they were renting or staying at, and like it made no, like, it was like pointless. I don't know. It was like a pointless scene for him to even do. What was he trying to do? He literally left, did nothing. He got caught by his two old friends, and then he just came back. That's essentially all Caleb did that day. So it was really uneventful for that. It didn't make any sense to me. They tried to make it exciting, but it just didn't. It didn't click very well to me, at least. Then we cut back to Essek. Oh God, this is what pissed me off the most. I hate this. I hate that I hate Essek, but honestly, I don't really like. I don't hate that I hate it now, because, like, fuck you. The guy's I keep forgetting his name, but he gives Essek time to go and to turn himself in, and he goes in to see the Bright Queen because Essek didn't show up. But oh Lord and behold, Essek was there and standing there, and then the guy is charged with treason and being the conspirer who stole the beacon and all this stuff, because Essek fucking was the one who told them all these lies, and then right then and there they execute him. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Essek, you piece of shit, you actually did this to your friend? That is ridiculous. And he didn't even do anything wrong. He saved him in the last episode to not die in that moment from Trent, just to have him executed by the queen there in front of him. I'm like, no, this is what pissed me off. I don't even have enough words to describe how disappointed, angry I am at Essek. This is what made me really hate him. This is like, no, I don't think you can say anything to justify him betraying his friend and getting him executed there. There's nothing you can say here that will justify this. I can't imagine anyone liking Essek after this. I just can't. I don't care if he quote unquote redeems himself. He's not going to redeem himself very well, because he doesn't really redeem himself. All he does is, okay, well, I'll help the group out a little bit, and that's pretty much it. He does stuff, I guess, with the group, but he hasn't met the group yet. In the campaign, he doesn't do much. He helps them out a little bit, teleporting or across the continent and stuff like that. But it's not like he did anything, in my opinion, to kind of redeem his stupidity, essentially. Because yes, they returned the beacon in the campaign before a war could start, but a war has already started in the animated series. So they're going in a different direction here. So I can't see that Essek is going to be much of a good guy here, because it's already kind of like everything's kind of just mishmashed. You can't even look at campaign 2 and trying to focus where they're going or what point in the story they are at right now, because a lot of it is like mixed and mashed with episodes we've already seen, and it just doesn't make any sense right now. So Essek doing this just has kind of I'm a Essek hater now. I'm gonna say it. I'm not sorry. I can't stand the guy now. He did this. I can't really get behind support of a guy who just betrayed a friend like that. I don't care if he becomes friends with the Mighty Nein and helps them out in whatever way. Returning the beacon would be the bare minimum that he has to do, because he was the one who stole it in the first place. So it doesn't make sense. Oh, he returned it, and now that means he's a good. No, okay, that does not make him a good guy. That just means he undid the shitty thing he helped do in the first place. That doesn't make him a good person. That just means he got pretty much he was forced to do it. It doesn't matter what the reasons he does it back are. Like doing the bare minimum doesn't make you a good person here. And then I absolutely hated that. That's the last thing I wrote here was my hate for Essek grows. And that's pretty much the episode. I don't I just can't stand it. Like that whole thing, a whole interaction happened. Like, why didn't the guy first say, I have like just yell out that he's lying and that you have information to prove that he is and stuff like that. That would at least halt and stall your death, essentially. At least even a minute. And just say, yeah, tell the queen, how did the thing get stolen? Because he was the one in charge of it, right? He's the one. He came and saved me from, like, mention what happened at the field, that Trent came with the beacon and used it and killed everyone. And Essek came in and saved him. So how did he know to come there and save him at that moment if he didn't have knowledge of that, that what was happening? Like, if he wasn't the one that helped and knew what was about to happen. And then also, like, to mention his mom's sickness, that's why he's doing it, for to help with getting his mom's, like, healing his mom's sickness. That would definitely have halted his execution there and pointed the finger back at Essek there. Honestly, I would have been fine with Essek dying here because of everything. Like, sorry, not sorry, but like, Essek's a piece of shit here. And so my whole thing with this is Essek is not going to get better, in my opinion. Who knows? I'm saying this now. He would have to, something big would have to happen with Essek in order for me to change my mind to be a fan of him again in the future. Because right now I do not like him. I kind of hope he dies, but I know 100% he will not. He will just do the he will just get, like, what's it called? Exiled or whatever. He'll just exile himself or be on the run or hiding or whatever, like he is in the games. But I just don't like the character, and I don't. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, if you like him still, fine, I guess. I just don't see why you would support someone right now who's just did something like that. I would expect a lot of people to be upset, not just at Essek doing this, but also at the at Critical Role for making it happen this way. Why are you trying to make Essek a terrible, terrible person? Yeah, he's a little bit bad in the anime, but I don't, at least from what we see, he's not evil. He's not, like, really bad that he would, like, that you would think he would do something like this. So this just came out of left field. I did not see that. I say I did not see that coming, but because he was standing with the Bright Queen when he showed up, I'm like, this motherfucker, he told her a lie, and now this guy's gonna die, isn't he? And I was right. So I did not appreciate that. That wasn't really a twist because you could see it coming from a mile away. So I was very disappointed and angry with Essek here and don't like it. Hey, that's the episode. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We are almost done the animated series. I will start covering the campaign 4 gameplay. The first 4 episodes I do will be all on one episode. I'm gonna do, like, a recap of everything, really. Episode 1 to 4 doesn't really, a lot happens, but it's not it's but honestly, it's like a lot happens, but nothing happens at the same time, if that makes sense. So I should be able to cover it in just one episode, all 4 episodes, and then maybe cover some more of the night group, or the, what's it called? And the PV, or the, what's it called? The fighting group, or whatever they're called. I don't know what the groups are called. Espionage, role play, and what the night group, that's Travis, Laura, and the rest of them that are focusing more on combat oriented play. But yeah, I'll cover those later. And for now, I think this is where I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for joining me today. And don't forget to leave a review and let me know what you think of the current episode. And if you agree with me on the hate for Essek, because, oh my God, I cannot be the only one that hates him right now. This is ridiculous. All right. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Is it Tuesday yet? See ya.